Good afternoon, happy Tuesday, and welcome to Facebook Live. So I am happy to be here with you today, and hopefully we'll be able to do this whole video. We're under a tornado warning watch, whatever the lower one is. One of these days I'm going to figure out the difference between those two, but I have not heard a tornado siren, so we are good to have our Facebook Live for right now. All right, so we are going to look at some happy mail, and then we're going to make a fun fold together, and yeah, just have a little fun. So I'm gonna put this over here, hopefully. Welcome to everybody who's coming in here this morning, or I'm sorry, this afternoon. It might be morning somewhere. Hi, Jean. So today is free shipping. So in case you missed it, I just want to make sure I say it live. If you're watching this on, let me make sure I say the date, Tuesday, May 21st. Stampin' Up! Is offering free shipping today, so it's a great thing to take advantage of. In fact, as soon as I'm done with this video, I'm going to go through my catalog and find some more stamps to buy. So, speaking of that, as long as I'm mentioning it, if you have a stamp set or a bundle that you are really hoping I will show you some ideas with, mention it here and I'll take a look and see if I can purchase some of those after this video. So always looking for new ideas on sets that I can play with and have a little bit of fun with. So welcome you guys to Facebook Live. So like I said, I'm going to start with some happy mail, which is what I call it when you guys send cards to me, because not only does it bring a smile to my face to get mail, but also I love showing off your creativity. So that's what we're going to do here. If I can get this first one out of the envelope. There we go. Okay, this one is from Jennifer Gibson in Washington. It says, thank you. Fun way to show off that designer series paper. And I'll just move her note here so we can see, oh, the inside is just white. So she's just put her note on a Post-it note. But I like that layout. That's really fun. Okay, the next one comes from somebody in Alabama. Let's see, it's in a plastic sleeve. Let's see if it has a name on the inside. It does not. Well, somebody in Alabama made this card. Isn't that really pretty though? Actually, we're going to be using part of this stamp set today. How funny. So this is Sentimental Park. So we will be, well, you'll see that here in a few minutes with our fun fold. And then we've got one from Sue Beggar in Montana. And it says, dear friend, oops, the dear friend. You got that embossing there. And just blank on the inside. But very pretty card. So I love it. I love, oh gosh. I love seeing what you guys are making. So, sorry, bear with me a second. I keep my iPad over here so I can read your comments and it just fell over on me. All right, so just had to take a minute to share what had come in the mail this past week before we jump into our project. So I'm going to go ahead and put this down, and we will be able to see the catalog. There we go. All right, so of course we are in our new catalog right now. So this just started at the beginning of May. If you're new around here, you haven't missed a whole lot. You know, we're only like 3 weeks into May. So this is a whole year-long catalog of fun and goodies that we can use. And that's why I need to go through here and find some stamp sets to use. I have not ordered any stamps since the pre-order. So if you're a demonstrator, you're able to order a month early on catalogs. We can't order everything. They just give us like a select, you know, pre-order, they call it, a select few that we can order the month before. And so I did that, but in the month of May, I have not ordered any stamps. Can you believe that? I've been so focused on getting your product shares done and getting ready for our card play online retreat next week. I completely forgot to order some new stamp sets. How crazy is that? So that's what I'm going to do today. So let me know what you're finding. What's your favorite? What are you hoping to see more of? I would love to hear what stamps you guys have been getting. So today I am going to combine new and, well, we'll call it old, or carryover. Meaning, carryover means it was in a previous catalog and it has stuck around and is still with us. So Unbounded Love is one of our new bundles, and it comes with these lovely dies. And I know I've shown you these dies before. Some of them actually make double die cuts. So this one right here, for example, the scalloped rectangle right here, it's going to come out as 2 separate pieces. So let me show you that. So when you use one die, you get 2 pieces. And so we're actually going to use those pieces in our card today. So, but there's a few of them that do that you end up with 2 pieces. So it really gives you a lot more to work with when you use this. And then I'm going to pair it with Sentimental Park, which you saw in one of those cards that came in the mail. So Sentimental Park has been around, I think for about a year or so, but I think the flowers go really nicely with the Unbounded Beauty paper that we're going to use. All right. So I mentioned if you wanted to craft along with me that you're going to want a 12-inch piece of designer series paper and a piece of coordinating cardstock. And then you can never go wrong with some basic white. So where we're heading, this is the card that we're going to make right here. So we're going to use our designer series paper to create the card base. So let's start by doing some cutting. The first thing we're going to need with some sort of cardstock that matches your designer series paper, you're going to need a piece that is 4 1/4 by 5 1/2. So I'm just taking a standard card base here and I'm just going to cut it in half. So this is 4 1/4 by 5 1/2. And then I'm going to cut another piece with the same color. And it is going to be 2 1/2. Let's see here, 2 1/2. 2 1/2 by 3 3/4. 2 1/2 by 3 3/4. Okay. And then with our basic white, we're going to cut 2 pieces, same size. They're going to be 2 1/4 by 3 1/2. So let's start here at 3 1/2. And we'll do 2 1/4. So there's 2 1/4. And then we'll do another one here. There we go. All right, so those are 2 1/4 by 3 1/2. We got 2 of those. Then, of course, we need to cut our designer series paper. Now, I'm going to be brave, or maybe crazy, and I'm going to do this card with directional DSP. Now, my sample did not have directional paper, which is so much simpler. So if you're trying this fold for the first time, I'd recommend not using directional paper, because I have to think. And who wants to do that, right? Okay, so we're going to cut it at 5 1/4. I'm just thinking for a second here. Yes, this will be correct. Okay, so I've cut it at 5 1/4 so that my direction stays right side up. Okay? And I'm also going to cut off 1/2 inch. So ultimately, you want it to be 5 1/4 by 11 1/2. So 5 1/4 by 11 1/2. Now, I could do my scoring on here as well, but I think it's so much easier to use our scoreboard. So I'm just going to grab that and put that here. Now, when you're scoring designer series paper, you want to make sure that you score lightly, because if you score with as much pressure as you might put on cardstock, you're going to break the paper. And so when you fold it, it's actually going to break on you. So we want to make sure that we score gently. We're going to do 3 different score lines. So we're going to start at 2 inches. And then we're going to do 4 3/4. And we're going to do 7 1/2. So that was 2 inches, 4 3/4, and 7 1/2. Now I'm just going to make sure that I can find my score lines, that I've done enough pressure to find them. So I'm just using my finger to feel for the score line. And I'll use my bone folder in a minute, but all right. So there we go. Except that I've done it upside down. I've totally done it upside down. I just scored my paper backwards. Let's see here. Yeah, my paper is now upside down. That's really fun. But this is the end result that you want. This is why I don't recommend directional paper. Because I totally scored it wrong. So yeah, here we go. Let's see. You know, I think what I'm going to do, I'll fix this and I'll post later what I do with it. But what we're going to do, so that you can see a proper card here, is I'm just going to cut this extra piece here real quick. I mean, all of the score lines are still correct. Everything I told you is correct. I just scored it upside down. And that's my fault. All right, so we'll cut off our 1/2 inch. And we will do this again. All right. So what I'm going to do is I'm going to, let's make sure I have this correct. There we go. We're just going to turn it upside down. Make it a lot easier. And let me just think through my... This is why I shouldn't do it directional, you guys. We'll just do it this way. Trying to think here. Yes, this will work. So I need to score it upside down. Okay, so let's try this again. Yeah. Kathy says I'm teaching you. Yeah, I know. I'm not the only one who does this. This is why I often avoid directional paper on Facebook Live when I'm trying to do a specific fold. Because it's so easy to get it backwards when I'm talking. All right, so let's do this again. We're going to do 2 inches. We're going to do 4 3/4. And we're going to do 7 1/2. All right, let's try this again. Stick this down here. So now, when I flip it over, yes, now we should have it correct. We'll find a way to modify the other one and finish it off. And then I'll make sure that that's posted as well. All right, so my bone folder, we're just gonna crease this down. And we'll do that as well. Okay, so now here we have how our card is going to open. Okay, and I really wanted my flowers to be right side up. I mean, we could pretend that the other card was dried flowers or drying flowers. That's why they're hanging upside down. All right, so we will take our background piece and we'll add our adhesive here. There we go. We'll just add that to the front of our cardstock mat. And then I'm going to set this aside for a little bit because we need to do some stamping. So I've got my 2 white pieces and I've got the die cut. Okay, So I'm going to start with some Petunia Pop ink. And I just need to get a scrap of white. Well, a scrap of any color, really. Because we're going to do some stamping off. So we will use our flowers from Sentimental Park. And I'm going to ink those up. And I'm going to put it on one of those basic white pieces, just like that. Then there's a second stamp in that set that has the fillers. So this is how you fill in those outlines. So I'm going to ink it up, I'm going to stamp it off, and then I'm going to line it up here and stamp a second time so that we get a nice filler for our leaves. Okay. And then I'll close that. And we're going to take Summer Splash because that also coordinates with our Designer Series paper. And I'm going to be using, I wanted to bring back the stamp set for a second. What attracted me to this stamp set was two things. I love the fonts, of course. I'm a sucker for good scripty fonts. But I really like how it had the faith, hope, and love in here. But not only that, well, there's also peace, but it has a coordinating verse, so to speak, verse sentiment thingy, that goes with it. So for example, it's hope is believing in a brighter tomorrow. Love never gives up. Faith is being sure of what we cannot see. Peace makes the world a better place. So I love how there's pairs in here that you can combine your words and have something on the inside and the outside. So I'm going to take hope and I'm going to stamp hope on this tiny little rectangle here. But hope fits perfectly on it, so it works great. And then I'm going to move this over, turn my block over, and on the other side of the block I have is believing in a brighter tomorrow. So hope is believing in a brighter tomorrow. All right. Ooh, almost put my finger in the ink pad. All right, so we've got some pieces here now. So let me grab our Petunia Pop background that we cut. And we're just gonna tape those two together. And then what I need is a piece of ribbon. So I'm gonna use Summer Splash here. And grab some scissors here. I gotta clean this out. There's a little bit of a rough edge on this one. There we go. Now I'm just gonna kind of lay it across here, eyeballing it, and I'm gonna cut it off again to be about the same width as these layers right here. Ooh, the Band-Aid makes it hard for my thumb to fit in those scissors. Okay, this paper cuts, y'all. I have been sorting so much paper for your paper shares that I have like 5 paper cuts right here on my thumb. So, Band-Aid to protect my thumb. All right, I'm gonna take this ribbon and I'm just gonna apply some adhesive. I'm gonna set my little square here, or I'm sorry, my rectangle, my scalloped rectangle, kind of right where I want it. And then I'll take that piece of ribbon and lay it right over. So that'll tape down that delicate piece. You could also take some glue and glue this down, or before you die cut it, you could put some, oh my gosh, what am I thinking of? The adhesive sheets to turn it into a sticker, because it is a fairly delicate piece. But this is also a fun way to design your card. So I'm going to put 4 dimensionals on here because I want it to hold not just on the ribbon, but on the cardstock. So let me explain what I mean. Normally, tiny little thing like this, you need 2 dimensionals. You'd probably stick 1 on each side, but when you do that, they're going to stick primarily to this ribbon. And I'm just not going to get as tight of a grip as when you stick something to cardstock. So that's why I put them top and bottom so that some of it will get that cardstock, not just stuck to the ribbon. So that's why I do it. Or at least maybe that's just my justification for using lots of dimensionals. I do love dimensionals. All right, we're going to stick that here in the middle so it's nice and popped up. There we go. And then I'm going to bring back my card base, and we'll start with the inside. So I'll put my insert here. We'll just center that here on the inside. And it's really helpful to do this piece first, because that way when we close this card and we put this down, we can make sure that we don't have any of that white. You know, we don't want to put our front piece here and have this little bit of white sticking out on our card. So by doing this first, it's much easier for me to know where to place my front panel. So what I'm going to do is I'm going to put 1 dimensional right here, kind of in the middle of that front panel. And then I'm going to put 3 down the side. And then I can set this on my card front, just like that. There we go. And then what I'd really like to do is put a few resin dots. Ooh, let's see if I can get enough out of here. I'm going to take some Petunia Pop resin dots. I need to get some more of these. And, whoops, it stuck to my Band-Aid. Okay. Put that there. And then we'll grab this little piece. And so there we go. We've got some little bling there in the middle of the flowers. So here is our Designer Series paper fun fold. Now, if you feel like you need more to write, you have a couple of options. You could put a white piece right here, and you could also put a white piece right here. Or if you used a marker or something like a thicker marker, you could actually just write on the Designer Series paper here. And then that gives you more space to write your words. So you've got choices for how you might use that. And then I'll bring back my sample because it was actually a different pattern. I used this sheet of the DSP, still from the Unbounded Beauty set. And I paired that with Shy Shamrock is this color. So this is Summer Splash. This cardstock here is Shy Shamrock. So just showing you multiple different colors and ways that you can do it. Yeah, Kathy, I'm with you. I love this paper. It's really beautiful. And it has all 5 of the new in colors in it. So it makes it really fun to get to pair your new colors with as well. So, all right, you guys, don't forget it's free shipping day here if you're watching this on Tuesday, May 21st. So be sure to get your free shipping. And otherwise, have a wonderful day, and don't forget to encourage one another and build each other up. I'll see you soon.